a follow-up video on the candied peel that I made. The orange candied peel, orange skin candied peel, and the mock ginger and ginger candied ginger that I made. That made no sense, but we're going to carry on anyway. So I noticed that it started to crystallize. So you can hear little bits of crystallization. So I'm kind of quite curious about that, and I would like to investigate it crystallizing further. So let's pull out some of these. So you better hear it there. Hear that? That's the sugar recrystallizing. So let's pull out some of these long bits of peel from both containers and see what happens to them, and hopefully they will they'll crystallize, which I think will be really nice. So the whole jar is going to do it. We'll kind of cross that bridge when we get to it. So let's pull out three bits of orange. I mean, it's normally I add a bit of when I'm making sugar syrups, I add a bit of lemon juice, which stops the crystallization process. Another container. So I know why it's happened, and I know how to prevent it. It's just kind of quite interesting. So it will be almost kind of like a bit. Hopefully, it's going to go like those crystallized jelly sweetie type things that my grandma used to buy when I was young. So I'm kind of curious about that. So I need to dig down and find those. Does it go at the bottom? Dig them out. I did learn about why sugar recrystallizes, but it was a long time ago and I've forgotten. So we'll pull these bits out, and if they kind of go like crystallized sweeties, I think those will be really kind of quite nice. But already you can hear it. It's starting to crystallize, so we might have to have a look at that in a couple of weeks. I made it last week, so it's safe for a while, but it's going to start to crystallize. That's not what I want to happen to it, and we might just have to remelt it out of the syrup. So kind of put these jars back into in some hot water, and then slowly melt them in some water in a pan on top of the stove to remelt the sugar, and then we'll kind of strain off the syrup and kind of separate it from the fruit, and then hopefully it'll all go kind of like that, which will be kind of quite interesting. But like what's the double bubble? So it'd be like you get like a 2-for-1 type of thing. But anyway, so put those in the cupboard, lid on, in the cupboard, see what happens. Right, quick update on the candied peel, and it started to go, listen, really kind of quite crunchy. So that's after 3 days, I think. So that one's got a little bit of juice there. I really shouldn't be twisting it with my fingers, but they are clean, and it's only for me. So it's starting to crystallize, and the juice there. How's that taste? No, it's fine. It's not fermenting or anything like that. So they're kind of going crunchy. So shall I eat a bit? Yes. I'll take this out. This one is the most. See, that's kind of quite interesting. Is that? See how it tastes. That's delicious. The way it's gone crunchy is just delicious. It's like it's just delicious. So Alright, I'm still eating. Right, so that's really interesting. I think I want to. I just need to move this and get these out. So they're in the cupboard and they're starting to crystallise. So I think when I've got a bit of time, what I need to do is melt that and dish it out, otherwise it's just going to become a solid block in there. And then we need to take the big bits of rind that we've got and put them out on some kind of tray and let them naturally crystallise. And they're only kind of going to, and I think they're all going to get better. So they were nice now. I think they'll be nicer in a few days' time. Let's just sniff a bit off there and see how the melon is tasting. Nice because of the ginger. So I'm worried that that's going to crystallise. It's got a nice aftertaste, a nice aftertaste ginger kick. So I think I need to dig out the big bits of zest and peel from these jars, and then kind of need to think about possibly. No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remelt those, so it melts the sugar crystals, and then I'm going to put them all out on a sheet or in a container covered, and then it naturally crystallise without the syrup, because it's going to turn into a solid block, and it'll just be like a solid block of sugar that I won't be able to get out of those jars without breaking them. So we need to melt those kind of quite quickly, and then put them onto some trays, and then we'll have some really interesting crystallised candied fruits. 5 days later, and it's starting to go really crunchy. I think that's great, is that? I think that's great. It's as it's drying out as well. So hopefully there's enough sugar in there to kind of keep it preserved. See, that one's going really crunchy. Just cut a bit off. So that's certainly, if I make it again, that's certainly what I'm going to do. I'm going to lift it. I'm not going to add any lemon to the syrup. I'm going to leave it in the syrup for a day, and then I'm going to lift it out the syrup. And it goes like old-fashioned sweeties. So I have lifted the rest of the peel out. So let's have a quick look at that. Now I had to. The syrup was crystallising. Yes, shocking use of cling film. I do apologise. I did lift it out of it. I had to melt the syrup, but that's worked even better as that. Like the smaller bits. That's great. Is that? So even though I had to melt the syrup in a pan of hot water to kind of like so I could get the fruit out of it without breaking it to bits, like hacking through the syrup that was crystallising. But that's worked better, isn't it? So, so that's how you make crystallised ginger. So we've made candied ginger, we've made crystallised ginger. Well, crystallised melon skin. So that's the melon and the mock ginger, the melon and the ginger. That's worked out really well. It's gone really kind of crunchy. So it's really expensive, that stuff. Again, crystallised ginger is really expensive to buy. So you can certainly make your own. It's certainly, you get a better job when it's cut up into a dice. That works better when it's cut up into a dice. And then this is the orange. So yeah, so if it's cut up into the dice, it works better. It's just going to take longer for those to crystallise. They've been out for about. Maybe it's better if it's in the air as well rather than under cover. But anyway, that's a success. Is that? That's it. It's a success, and it's also interesting. And it might lead us somewhere else. It might just lead us somewhere else. Could we temper a bit of chocolate and then maybe coat them in chocolate? Maybe. Not a little bit. They're going to go in an odds and sods Christmas cake. I need to make some space in the freezer. And I might as well make some more Christmas cakes and have them maturing for, even if I don't get around to eating them for 6 months. You know, it's better to have them maturing rather than not be under matured. But anyway, so that's success. Yeah, it's a success and kind of a success and kind of interesting. I don't know what practical uses that will have. Probably not. I mean, if I ever need to make if I never need a load of orange juice or something, and I don't want to waste the peel, that's certainly something we can do. And also the crystallized ginger, which my mum's a huge fan of crystallized ginger. So, but that's how you make it. I never looked up how to make it. We've kind of made it by accident, which I suppose is how it was probably made in the first place. But there we go. A rip-roaring success.